Mom and Dad, are you ready?
Today's word is stupendous.
You need some encouragement.
We really love listening to you guys.
You need some inspiration.
We just found your Stupendous Marriage podcast.
Elmer loves that word, stupendous.
Stupendous marriage encouragement from Stu and Lisa on the Stupendous Marriage Show.
Hey there, welcome to the Stupendous Marriage Show. I'm Stu Gray.
Hey, I'm Lisa Gray.
And this is episode 151.
Yay!
Yay! 2 episodes in after a 2.5-year break. Yay!
Hey, you know what? We're here. That's all that matters. We're here once again. Enjoy sitting across the microphone from you in the room and just being around you, babe, and talking about cool stuff going on in the world.
Cool stuff like lightning, random strikes.
Hey, just do me a favor. Don't do the song. What is it? The lightning and thunder and lightning. So every time I try to sing that song.
I like Imagine Dragons, yeah. Dean really likes Imagine Dragons.
Well, every time I sing the song, I really don't intentionally mean to sing it out of order, but like almost every time I accidentally sing it out of the order. And I was doing that the other day, and he's like, Mom, stop. You know it doesn't go that way. And I was like, no, like that song just aggravates me, so I don't even know if I know it. So anyways, as long as you don't do that song where you're talking about the fun lightning experience, that's fine.
A couple weeks back, we're sitting at the in-laws, and they were having like a church get-together and a small group get-together, and we were invited because we were family, and so all these kids are jumping in their pool and running around, and the parents are hanging out, eating food and stuff on the patio, and their house sits on top of this hill, and there was this one rogue cloud that kind of seemed to be all alone over their house. It was sunny,
Yeah.
but there was this one dark cloud, and one of the parents says to your mom, hey, what's your policy on lightning and thunder? And she kind of rolled her eyes and went, well, whatever happens. And I think it was mere seconds later, but I could be making that up. But there was this huge lightning bolt. I mean, it couldn't have been more than a mile away, like in the valley in front of their house. And I've never seen parents move so fast to get their kids out of a pool. And the kids are like, what happened? Why?
Yeah.
Huh? Why?
I was one of those parents. Yeah.
Yes, it was crazy. And it was just barely raining. This one weird cloud just over their house. And that was the only lightning, only thunder the whole time the party was going on.
Yeah, what was even stranger, I mean, I was sitting there talking to a lady, but the view is just amazing. You can just see for miles and miles from their house. And so she's talking, we're sitting beside each other, and we're talking, and I just happened to be looking out on the horizon down the valley. And so as fast as the lightning came down, like I was up out of my seat immediately screaming, get out of the pool, get out of the pool, along with, 15, 20 other parents.
It was close. It was crazy.
And these kiddos, I mean, it was so loud too that I know a couple of kids like jumped, like they realized something was happening. We were all, in fact, somebody made a joke, of course, it being a church gathering. Is it the rapture?
Yeah, right. Right.
What's going on exactly? But we were not. It was not. We were still there. So they got out so fast. And then unfortunately it started to rain and they never got to get back in. But it was just one of those things that you kind of go, thank you, Lord.
Yeah,
like
really,
it could have been so much closer to the house. And
nerve-wracking, very nerve-wracking.
Yeah, not a good thing about Tennessee summers is you do have random pop-up showers that happen any day, anytime, and you just don't know.
Hey, I want to say thank you to Katie, reached out to us, email at onair@stupendousmarriage.com. We actually talked about an email she sent to us in episode 142, and it's been a little while since we did episode 142, and maybe a little bit more than 2.5 years. Well, she got married, has a baby now, and she sent us wedding pictures, and everything is going well in their marriage, and it was super exciting to see those pictures. So thank you so much for reaching out again. That was really, really cool.
Yeah, when you told me, you're like, hey, have you checked the email today? I was like, no. And so I went in and saw it. And just to know that they were engaged, I believe, or dating.
Right,
yeah, when she had emailed and we talked about her email on the show. And just to know that we had an opportunity to kind of speak into their future, which is now, right, 2.5, 3 years ago, and just to see that they're doing so well, and she's excited about us getting started again, and it just really meant a lot to get her email today and to hear from her and to know that they're doing well, and she's still listening, and I'm just excited to hear from Just excited to hear from more of you. We would love to just hear what's going on in your world, especially if we ever answer one of your emails on the show or if you emailed and corresponded with us. That's what this is all about. This is really about you guys. This is about us being able to encourage you and get to know you. And so the best way to reach us is
On air at stupendousmarriage.com.
or you can check out the website and there's a new button. Now, hold up. It is not the big blue button anymore. It's the smaller moving on the right-hand side of the website button.
Yeah, you're just going to have to see it to understand that. But it is blue and it does move. It's
It
on the
does.
right-hand side. It says, send us your email.
And guess what? It still gets to us, and we've made sure it works this time. So
We've got an email coming up. I'm glad you're here.
When there's a tear in your eye and you want to war cry, send us an email. When your spouse crossed the line and there's chills up your spine, send us an email. Send it tonight, it'll be alright. StupendousMarriage.com is the website. Don't incite a fight, buttons on the right. Look at the website, it'll help ya.
Okay, here's the email for today. Hey there, Stu and Lisa. Love your podcast and love that you're helping marriages one podcast at a time. My husband and I just got married after 7 years of dating. We moved to Georgia for his school, and it just so happens that his very best friend, who is also married, lives here and is going to the same school. That's really great. However, his friend is married to a gal I just can't get myself to like. I act like we're friends, but my husband and I both agree that she is, for lack of better words, the worst. Bossy, controlling, know-it-all. I cannot click with her, which then strains my husband and his buddy's relationship because their wives secretly dislike the other. I feel awful for complaining when we have to hang out with them, but I really don't want to fake this friendship anymore. Help!
you just got to hate that. I mean, I'm sure they were very excited about being close to somebody they knew, especially somebody that he was close with, because, you know, guys just don't generally make friends like girls do. So then for her to be married to somebody who just kind of rubs them both the wrong way is really unfortunate.
It is. It is a bummer.
Do you remember when, I won't say names, but a while back that you started being good friends with a guy, and the first time I met his wife, literally we left that dinner and I was like, gosh, I don't know if I could be around her all the time. And then slowly but surely, the more I was around her, I actually just kind of got her. Like, I understood that she wasn't necessarily somebody I was going to go be best friends with, but she was somebody that I just had more grace for because I just saw her quirkiness and her funniness. And even though, again, just her personality and my personality were not quite as tight as you and him were, it was just made it easier when we were around each other that, like, I finally started going, you know what? It's okay. I don't have to be best friends with her. I can just really be me, accept her for who she is, and really enjoy the fact and appreciate the fact that our husbands have a connection that men just don't always have.
Yeah, so, I mean, you don't necessarily have to rely on both people in the couple having wonderful, fabulous relationships. Obviously, your husband and his friend have a really, really good relationship. It's not guaranteed that you and his wife are going to have a great relationship either, and that's totally okay. But, you know, the only way to grow in friendship is to be a good friend.
Yeah.
So I think about that, but then I also think about the fact that we notice things in other people that we don't like in ourselves a lot of times.
Yes.
So, I mean, I don't know if that's going on, but maybe those rough edges are, you know, your edges too. And maybe, I don't know.
You guys are alike, right?
There might be a lot of areas where you're alike, and that might be hard to hear because you mention a lot of negative things. I don't know if that's the case or not, but maybe take that for what it's worth and think through that. You have to invest in the friendship, and I don't know how long you've been hanging out with your husband's friend and his wife yet. You've got to give grace and do the 50,000-foot view thing. You know, your husband really does have a good friend here, and maybe you both take it with a grain of salt that she's not your people. You're not going to be
Right.
people with every person out there.
Right.
You're not going to jive with everybody, and that's totally okay. But you can give grace for the time you guys do get to hang out.
Yeah.
And then, do you always have to hang out as couples?
Right. That's what I was going to say. Like, is there times that the guys can just be together and continue to have their relationship? And then also, could you intentionally spend some time with her one-on-one, going and doing something that you guys might enjoy doing together to make memories together? That's the thing, you know. When you have a long-time relationship with somebody and they're your best friend, they've seen things, they've experienced things with you, and now time has gone by and your spouse hasn't experienced that, obviously, with his wife.
Sure.
And so how can you make your own memories? It doesn't, again, I think lowering the expectations that y'all are going to be best friends or that you have to have everything in common or that you're automatically just going to click, I think helps just enjoying the fact that your husband gets to be with his best friend, which is very cool, and this woman who his best friend loves, and just going, you know what, I'm good. Even if she rubs me the wrong way sometimes, I'm just going to extend grace to her because of the fact that I love my husband and I love his best friend.
I really like that shared history, though, because the two guys have history. They've done things together. You're thinking, oh, we're going to be best friends with the wives, too.
Right.
And there is no history there.
Right.
So forcing something there that may not be there is a pressure that's not necessarily needed. So I like that idea of trying to get the ladies together and try to create some history, some things that they might do. You can try it. It may not work.
Yeah.
But that way you have some investment in that relationship too.
Well, and kind of off subject a little bit, I know for me, when I've been around your family, especially because we don't see them as much as we see my family, most of the time the conversations revolve around your history with them, right? So
yeah.
hey, do you remember that thing that you did when you were in this grade? Or do you remember when you did this musical? And oftentimes when those conversations are happening, and again, I know that your mom is just trying to connect with you and
Sure.
remember things with you,
Yeah.
I feel a little left out. And so I wonder if any of that happens to be happening too, where the husbands are talking about and reminiscing, and maybe you have a history with his best friend. Like maybe the three of you were friends before his wife came along, right?
Or maybe in the other way.
Yeah, or-
she may have been in the picture. I don't know.
Right.
Whatever that dynamic is.
Where there's a reason that there's a little bit of a, because it really does bother me initially when I first am in that environment. And then I have to remind myself their history with you is 20 years ago before I knew you. And that's okay, because when they're with you, they want to remember those things with you. And that's okay. I don't have to be a part of every conversation. But maybe somewhere in there's a dynamic that either she's feeling left out on an unconscious level or you're feeling left out if three of you had history that the one person wasn't involved with. I don't know if that helps or not, but it was just a thought that popped in my head as you were talking.
So let's wrap it up for today. Thank you so much for that email. You can send us yours on air at stupendousmarriage.com. We do have a new Stupendous Marriage hotline that you can call us. We would love to hear from you, where you're listening from, and if you've got a question, we can share that on the show. The number, 615-592-1060. 615-592-1060.
And just a quick shout out to David from Austin, Texas. He was one of the first people to use the number and give us a call and leave us a great voicemail. And we really appreciate hearing from you, David, and hearing everything that's going on in Texas. Yeehaw!
We'll talk to you next time.
See ya.